Hi, I'm Cat Navarro Lee with IdeateTV, and I'm here at Dances with Films, and I'm here with the filmmaker from Ciao Mama, and it's Luca. Nice to meet you, Luca.
Nice to meet you too.
What's your last name?
Perito.
Now, that's really Italian, right?
Yes, it is. Yes. Not to be confused with Dorito. People would say Dorito back when I was in middle school. It's Perito, Perito. Yeah.
I figured from the title.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you must be Italian.
Yep.
So tell me about your project and what inspired this.
So my mother, back in 2016, I'm living in Los Angeles. It's not exactly the best living situation. I'm living with 4 guys in a 2-bedroom house. 2 people are living in the living room with a curtain up. And I had my own room, though. I had my own room. But my mother called me, and she tells me that she has cancer. And so it's about a 10-minute phone call, and I don't really know what to do with that information. It's also, there's different degrees of cancer. Some, none of them are good, but some of them are terrible. And I didn't really know what was going on. I felt more lost at the end of the conversation than I did before. And so then I sat down that night and I wrote a 10-page 1-act play. About a son who returns home for his mother's funeral after she made everyone in the family promise not to tell him that she was sick. So he's coming home and kind of playing catch up on this entire scenario, and it's right after the funeral. And I knew that when I was making this, I wanted to make a 1-act or a 1-location film, just to keep costs down. It's indie filmmaking. I knew we wouldn't have a big budget, so I wrote this play. It was a full-length play eventually, and then I decided to change it into a feature film, and that was 2021. I decided to do that, and now it's 2025. Funny thing is, the first season of The Bear came out right before we started principal photography. Season 4 of The Bear is coming out tomorrow, and we had just finished 1 movie. They had 4 seasons of The Bear. So it took us a while, but we got here.
And it came from the heart, so it was like a journey, and you could attribute to different parts of your life. Now, did your mom get to hear about this story?
Yes, she's here tonight. She's somewhere. She's mingling. She's running around right now.
How does she feel that she was the inspiration from all of this?
I actually haven't talked to her about that yet. She's thrilled. She's thrilled to be here. She's very proud. But I'm more proud of her. The amount of treatments she's gone through to be here today. Her life is very different now. But she's very tough. She's the toughest person I know. And I'm just very happy that she fought as hard as she has to be here.
So I know now that your film has a lot of depth to it. Now, what was the hardest thing about making the film? I know that you guys had some tragedy as well with one of your lead actors, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you lose any part of your team, it's extremely difficult. But when you lose someone who's just as magnetic and as good of a person as Johnny Wactor, it's really difficult. But so many people came together, and we rallied together, and that's the thing I'm the most proud of. Colin Flynn, Micah Parker, Viral Kashwala, the 3 remaining producers, and myself, we all really shared the load. And at no point did I feel this burden of hoisting up this wonderful actor's last performance. This is my first film, so I made a lot of mistakes, and it's difficult. But I never felt that pressure on myself, and it's because of my team.
It sounds like one of the resounding things from talking to the other filmmakers is that it is so important to have an amazing group of people that you're working with, and it sounds like you did just that. Yeah,
it's something that you take that for granted a lot. I mean, like, it doesn't matter where you're working. If you're working at a bar, if you're working at a movie theater, if you're working anywhere, the people you work with, you want them to be good people. And, it makes going to work easy. It makes going to work fun. And, I mean, the people we had on set, it was such a good set. It was so much fun. And it's not like I had any practice at it before. This is my first time doing this. And I'm just so proud of, and Johnny was one of the people that really galvanized that. He really he made everyone so it was such a fun set. Johnny, I mean, one of our PAs, I just walked by one of our PAs one day, and Johnny and him, they just saluted each other out of nowhere, and then they started calling each other general and captain, and then I was some type of military rank. I don't know. They called me something, and I just looked at them, and I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's going on. And then a day later, there's a Popeye costume that showed up on set, and Andrew, our PA, would not take the costume off the rest of the film. He wanted to wear the Popeye hat the entire. It was a fun group of people, but everyone worked hard. It was 13-hour days, middle of August in New York, and it was awful, but we had so much fun. And all I want in the world is to get more days like that. But yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that heartfelt story. I remember when that happened with Johnny, a lot of people who didn't even know him were making comments because, the actor community, we all feel for each other. And then those stories that we share, and just knowing that he was such like a wonderful and kind person, and that it's so, heartwarming to know that his production, that he had a lot of fun on it, and that light that he had, was shared by everybody.
He was the best. I love him. He had such a unique quality about him that I don't quite know how to put words on it, but he just lit up every room, and he was just such a good person. I'm really, really glad that I got to make this movie with him, because I got to be really close to him and know him really. I mean, I would call him, we would have these hour-long phone calls, and we would just talk and it was just at the end of it, it's like, after you talk to Johnny on the phone, you felt like you could tackle the world. And that's just the kind of friend he was.
Luca, what advice would you give to other filmmakers who want to make something happen but don't know where to start?
Don't wait for permission, just do it. Just if it's a short film, do it. If it's a feature film, just do it. Figure it out. I waited my entire 20s, and granted, I was ready to do this now, but I waited, and I waited, and I waited for someone to give me permission. Do not wait for permission, just do it. Enough, and that's what independent film is all about. Stop waiting for permission, just do it.
You heard the man, just do it.